number of senators say they want to place conditions on aid for Israel. Democrats in the upper chamber are divided about the issue. Rhode Island Democratic Senator Jack Reed joins us now. He's the chair of the Senate Armed Services Committee. Mr. Chairman, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you, Nancy, very much.
Absolutely. You know, a short time ago, the minority leader, Mitch McConnell, said there's going to be no funding bill for Ukraine and Israel at all unless it contains a credible border security component. Do you think funding for Israel can wait until the Senate strikes a border deal?
Well, I think it's imperative that we fund both Ukraine and Israel very quickly. And I think that's part of the impetus behind the discussions, very serious discussions on mutually acceptable language about the border. It should be pointed out that the president sent up in the supplemental a significant amount of money for border. That money could be used to decrease the waiting time for determination of status. But there are also other issues that my colleagues on the other side particularly want to advance, and we're talking with them. And we're committed to make sure we deliver the funds to Ukraine, absolutely critical, and to Israel, and also to solve or help at our border.
On America Decides last night, Senator Bernie Sanders, your colleague, had this to say about aid for Israel. Let's take a listen.
I think there are a number of us who do have a concern about a very large blank check for Israel if there are not conditions attached to it.
Senator Reed, do you agree with your colleague?
Well, I agree that we're reached a critical moment in this battle. They are beginning to shift their focus to the south of the Gaza Peninsula. And what we have to do is ensure, and we've communicated that, the president has, I assume, that they have to change their tactics, that they have to use much more sophisticated intelligence, more targeted weapon systems, smaller explosives, that their battle is with Hamas, not with the Palestinian people. And we also have to have humanitarian efforts go in. Whether that's best accomplished by the dialogue the president has and other national leaders or by conditions, at this point, I think the president has done remarkably well. I would not have supposed 2 weeks ago that we would have a ceasefire and we would be releasing hostages. And keeping that effort up, I think, is probably the most important thing at the moment.
It does seem like the White House has been getting more pointed with the Israelis about Gaza casualties. I know, Senator, that Senate Democrats met with IDF officials last night. Were you there? And if so, what was your message to them, particularly when it comes to casualties in Gaza?
Well, I was there, and I delivered a message that their operations in the first 6 weeks of the conflict have been not as focused as they should be. Dropping a 2,000-pound bomb on a refugee site is not the most, I think, efficient way to take out the Hamas target they were going for. Back in our efforts to liberate Mosul in Iraq, it took us 9 months, a long time, but we were very, very careful about trying to minimize civilian casualties. There were civilian casualties, but we took great efforts. We would not use a bomb that was even close to 500 pounds. So those things have to be considered, particularly as they shift south, because they're not demonstrating that they have, which I believe they do, a concern for the Palestinian people. And the ultimate way or path to victory is separating Hamas from the Palestinian people. If you do that, then Hamas will crumble.
Senator, while I have you here, has there been any progress in the effort to find a way around the blockade on military promotions imposed by Republican Alabama Senator Tommy Tuberville? I know as the chairman of the Armed Services Committee, this is an issue of great concern to you.
Well, it's an issue of great concern to me, but it's also a grotesque impediment and, frankly, punishment to military officers who served 30 years, to their families who served with them. They're in the midst of limbo. They don't know when they'll get their promotion and when they can assume their assignment. And as a result, you have many officers who are essentially doing two jobs. And military officers doing one job, it's a 24/7 operation. And the idea of doing two puts extraordinary stress. So this is unfair to the military. They've won their promotion based on merit, and to confuse it with a political issue and also make them tokens in a political battle is wrong. I think we're beginning to break through. When my Republican colleagues, and I commend them, went to the floor and asked for unanimous consents to get these officers promoted, which is the tradition, they demonstrated that they too understand the pain that these men and women are going through, and also their families. We have the resolution that was just adopted before Thanksgiving, which would suspend the rules without changing them, but suspend them essentially for the rest of this Congress so that we could continue to promote individuals as we have in the past. And I'm sensing more and more of my colleagues on the other side are uncomfortable with the Tuberville position.
We'll watch to see if that new legislative strategy bears fruit. Senator Jack Reed of Rhode Island, thank you so much for being with us.
Thanks, Nancy, very much. Take care.
Absolutely.